Rituals 13 and 14, Alchemies of Lovers. We find ourselves in the temple of alchemy. Priestess of alchemy is facing twin apprentices, Aidan and Elaine. She says, life without the love of the goddess of love is sterile, feared, ignored. Yet within the fire of the goddess of creation there is no life. To find the love all long for, yet dare not demand, the oracle of Venus is essential. Priest alchemist raises staff. Divine goddess Venus, bringer of ecstasy through the love of men and women, mother of all created creatures, secret hope within each lonely heart, give us your oracle that we may find lost happiness. How wonderful indeed. The oracles have returned, messages from deity itself. In the temple now we see a woman in saffron robes, her face veiled. You need to face truth with courage, love with humility. It is easy to adore great queens, shining beauties, delightful singers and dancers. Yet you may not find the love you seek where you desire. I delight to hide myself, to draw on and then vanish, to mask myself. So I'm known as the goddess of myriad illusions reflected in the moon. Yet these very illusions are the stuff of creation. Each fragment of my divine body seeks to return to me by creating heavens round planetary matter. These dreams you call worlds, yet worlds are not earths, but rather the very tissue of spiritual longing. Those who regard themselves as most pure have concealed what they deem impure in nightmare fantasies that haunt world dreams. Discarnate entities dwell lost in the phantoms created by themselves, suppressed in vain in pursuit of so-called purity. Return to me. I'm easily find when you put aside your elaborate list of demands. For I come unexpectedly and have little use for spiritual arrogance. Know me as the laughter-loving Venus. My divine son is Eros, with his arrows of living flame. All wonder at this oracle of the goddess Venus and think about it. After a pause, the priest alchemist says, we give thanks to the goddess Venus for our oracle. Priest alchemist speaks to Aidan. Aidan, you have at last find love through Ishtar, not as goddess, but as a woman. Are you willing to experience the initiations of Astrea, goddess of justice? For without Astrea of truthfulness, love becomes putrefied. Aidan, I often try to balance wisdom with feelings. I'm glad to undergo the trial. Priestess alchemist, so be it. She hands Aidan a card from the Marseille deck. Describe this card. Aidan speaks. The card depicts a young man in a tunic with bare legs, choosing between two women. The woman on his right is plain and forbidding, but on his left the girl is pretty with golden curls. The severe woman has her hand on his shoulder. The pretty one has her hand on his heart. Above them is Cupid, shooting an arrow to his heart. It is a choice between learning or love. Priest alchemist, you are ready to enter the trance. So Aidan now lies down and the company all meditate with him. He gives his report. I feel this should be an enjoyable experience. I love both Minerva and Venus, so I climb up the hill of the zodiac with hope. I enter. I pay respects to the central vestal flame and make straight for the portal of Virgo. It It's easily found. It is in Roman style with 2 columns. On the left is Ceres garnering the harvest and bestowing it on a crowd of people. On the right is the austere figure of Astrea, winged goddess of justice, who returns to our earth now at the time of the reaping. I almost feel I've passed the test already. Still, I pass through the portal. I expect to see fine harvest fields, possibly crop circles, and happy lovers, and children having picnics. Oh, this is different. This is not what I understand at all. What is this? I'm in some gigantic hall, and the furniture is higher than myself. And presiding over this, looming over me, are very tall, terrifying men called the White Brothers. I know somehow they usually wear black, but when they do powerful magic, they wear white over black. They are very kind and good, because they're saving me from a fiery pit, where I and the other boys here would burn forever. Oh, yes, I'm a very small boy, about 8. There are other boys, and I wonder if I'm as thin and pale and bruised as they are. I know, this is a scene from long ago. I'm in a Dickens novel, probably Oliver Twist. I expect Fagin or Mr. Bumble any minute. But I'm hungry. So are the others. This is pretty real. Funny, I'm half this boy and half me. I mean, where's the fiery pit? Oh, of course, it's hell. I feel like laughing. But I get beaten. This is too much. This hurts. This is a fantasy, because it's nowadays and it can't be true. But they have television. That is the White Brothers, not us. We are regularly beaten and starved. I must be in some third world country. Africa? Oh, look European. I don't like this story. What amazes me is that this boy takes for granted that one of the brothers is really saving him by getting him to do some activity that leads to this fiery pit, he says. And then he is flogged afterwards for doing it. So both brother and boy are destined to finish up in the pit, burning forever. This is absurd. It's like some horror comic. I don't see where Venus or love is here. Who thinks up this sort of story? It's unhealthy. This boy is living a life of torment inflicted on him by these men who believe that they are helping others through inflicting pain. I know, there's an excuse. I'm beginning to understand. I may be in a mental home run by the inmates. That must be it. But I'm beginning to have enough of this, imaginary or not. But then I find the boy has 2 sources of heaven. The ugly nurse and the other, the lady with the guitar. The ugly nurse is so kind to him. Me, I mean. When he is beaten, she bandages his sores. But he, not me, really prefers the lady with the guitar because she's beautiful. He has glimpsed her on a brother's television set. So when he is really miserable, he travels to a lovely home and goes there through the television screen by imagining it. He learns to do this at night. The lady is always so kind to him and shows him how to play the guitar and how to swim in her star swimming pool. One day it suddenly comes to an end. Thank heavens! The boy has been hit on his ear, which bled. It's bleeding. I'm bleeding. He's lying on a hospital bed with the ugly nurse leaning over him. I'm trying to get away. The boy's in pain. But he is escaping into the magic television screen. He looks back and sees the ugly nurse is closing a boy's eyes and wonder why she's crying so much. Then me, races through the TV set and jumps into the star swimming pool. And by the marble steps stands the star lady waiting for him, with a plate piled with strawberry ice cream. But I notice that for a moment she is the ugly nurse. Aidan slowly comes back. He's very shaken and shocked. He hardly notices that he has attained his alchemical degree. Reports are shared, and rays of wisdom and love are sent forth, which include white brothers and abused children. All are prayed for. A woman practitioner adds white sisters and says we must never get like that. I think perhaps I'd like to share with you my vision of the Holy Grail, because it shows a little boy I saw with his legs astride the world in the form of a triangle with a globe between his legs. I felt that the world was dominated by cruelty and evil. The abused become the abusers. As I was thinking these horrible thoughts, I heard a voice say, there's always another way to look at things. Turn it upside down. Reversed, I saw the Grail. It was made of a cow's horn, very small and humble, with a rim of silver. Over it was a small plate to keep the flies off, I suppose. The emblem of the earth, reversed, was that of Venus, or the Ang. The globe was no longer the earth alone, but was the host of living embryos of a newly born creature. The triangle was reversed. Before triangle, it was coming down, represented as above, so below. But with the angry little boy inverted, it was as above, so below. Two together made the diamond of perfection. I take the message that male and female are one, but individual. Black and white are one, as are day and night, and both to be enjoyed. The triangles form the six-pointed star, or, when only their points join, into a diamond. That is the diamond of perfection. Realizing this at the beginning, on October the 30th, 1945, I was embarking on an alchemical path, which meant that Venus had to be balanced so that our Earth may be restored to the divine feminine. The emblem was of Mars, that angry little Napoleonic-like boy. Isis needed our help, that love and truth may be in harmony. So be it with us all. Let us meditate on this. Its loneliness is hell. Lovers find heaven, I call this. Creation comes from two. We're in the temple of alchemy. The priestess of alchemy addresses Elaine and Aiden. Though wisdom may be pursued openly, the path of love lies hidden, even from ourselves. In order to experience the fundamental act of creation, you need to receive the oracle of the sun goddess of Era, Grania. The priest alchemist raises his staff. I invoke thee, Grania, radiant goddess of the inner sun, that brings life to all that is, Grania of the grains of myriads of beings. And we become aware of a priestess in trance, in golden robes and a wonderful golden crown. Her face is ever concealed, concealing her personality to let the goddess manifest. My blessings for all creatures are enjoyed by all beings in all planets when these follow the path of nature. But when a species develops mental powers without love and goodness, contact with my inner fire is lost. Such a race decays without my life force. Every sort of machine is evolved, all avenues that relate to the outer shell of forms are honored, practiced, revered. But the more so-called enemies, germs, viruses, are killed, these return in ever-increasing power. In the end, in many places, a race dies out, surrounded by every conceivable instrument for their health and well-being. The present human race has the free will to destroy itself. But the rest of engendered creatures are not subject to human destiny. They are in the charge of the protectors. These guardians of life on every earth see that one species does not, in its advance, destroy other vulnerable creatures, whether animal or plant or element. On your earth, We pursue three methods to protect the planet. Firstly, we educate those humans who can commune with us, and so they in turn inform, warn their fellows. Prophecy. Secondly, we introduce a new race from the old who have enhanced reverence for all life and the ability to protect the vulnerable. Thirdly, we work through the great nature deities to change the formation of the earth itself for good, even to alter your earth's axis. I know you expected a sentimental oracle singing praises of bird and bee. Instead, receive my warning. Return to your appointed task to be guardians of this earth and all its creatures, or you will lose your destined way. If you return, you will have my gratitude, my blessing, and my support. The priest alchemist says, we give thanks to the goddess Gloria for her oracle. May we heed her words. The priestess alchemist addresses Elaine. Elaine, you have struggled all your life to bring your dreams to everyday reality and feel frustrated by your failures. Dreams vary. One man's hell is another man's heaven. You have lost touch with the other half of humanity. Man, are you willing to undergo the initiation of the lovers as depicted on this tarot card and so achieve union? Elaine says, troubles mostly come from men, but I will undergo the initiation, but won't promise to change my mind. She looks at the card. This card depicts elemental alchemy. The man wears three colours, red, blue and yellow. The two women wear blue and red, but in reverse order, and both have yellow headdresses. Obviously, the man, a student, needs help from both women, Minerva and Venus. The Cupid figure is naked and emerges from a white sun with three-coloured rays. This is the alchemical sun. Priestess alchemist. You are, as usual, well prepared for trance. We shall be with you, but not help you. Elaine enters trance. She takes longer doing this because she has such an active mind than Aiden. I make my way up the hill to the Temple of the Zodiac. I pass through the portal. I honour Vesta and find the portal of Virgo. It is as Aiden describes, but I look up at the Roman pediment and Eros smiles down in the form of a seraph with outspread wings. I pass through the portal, drawing aside a saffron veil. I find myself on the summit of a hill, and round me are exquisitely beautiful conical hills, deep blue and violet. The sky is rich with white clouds, as if sculptured in white clay. The clouds look beautiful serried ranks across the sky. There can only be one place as beautiful, Connemara. I love the cultural heritage of the west of Ireland. This is where I wish to be. And best of all, the hill is crowned, yes, with a very high dolmen. It is silhouetted against the orange setting sun. As I gaze at it, a very old man comes up to me, not in druid robes, but in shabby old tweeds. He has a tangled white beard. When I gaze into his grey eyes, I feel awe. Yes, he says gently, answering my thought. I'm Amagin, wise in the ways of the people of the goddess Dana. Have you come to rest yourself in peace on the bread of Grania? I look around. Where is the bed? Then I vaguely remember the dolmens were called beds of Grania. I had a disturbing picture of victims being sacrificed on the top stone. The bard smiles. Again he reads my thoughts. No one could reach or even lie on a capstone dolmen. These dolmens had a far more important role in creation itself. They channel divine energy of the sun of Grania. Are you willing to receive this golden flow within your very self? Eagerly, I assent. Amagon instructs me to touch the two supporting stones. I feel nothing. Then he tells me to stand between the stones, not touching them, facing the west. I do so. At once I'm hit by a flow of power, like a shaft of cold light, right up from the base of my spine to my shoulders and head. I am transfixed. Amigan says, this is the fundamental life force arising through stone from the matrix of the Earth Mother. To enjoy the love and joy of the goddess Grania in her home, you need to be between the mighty stones, head facing the east, your legs apart. Spread your long hair about you and shut your eyes. I shall return. I lie prone between the mighty stones, the capstone high above me, casting a black shadow over me. The ground is soft and grassy, speckled with wild flowers. Suddenly the cold power gives way to the most glorious golden sun ray that penetrates my whole body. I'm blissful. It reaches my heart like a living rose. It is surrounded with a golden halo. And what is so perfect is that I am in the centre of a golden harvest of ripened corn, dry, crisp, ready for the harvest. There's a frightening change. The earth starts to rock. This is an earthquake. My golden glow is swallowed up by the white-silver power like lightning. Is this a thunderstorm? The golden grain has vanished beneath water. To my alarm, water is rising in violet blue flood. I find I'm floating upwards with it as it rises higher and higher until the capstone itself is submerged. I shall drown. I call to Amigan for help, but he is not here. Then far above me I see a golden wheel rotating at remarkable speed. It changes colour to silver. As I lift up my arms toward it, above the waters with their white crested waves, a mighty form appears within the wheel. I see a noble face, then a god with waving black hair like seaweed and mighty arms reaching mine. The god lifts me into the light. I hear a great voice that resounds like a rhythm, the sound of waves. My daughter of Grania, I am Manana Maklia of sea and space. Behold my wheel, which draws the waters from the small springs, then raises them as clouds, and returns them to the earth as health-giving rain. Mine are mighty floods and gentle dewdrops. I am the very body of all that is, and my mantle girdles every planet that harbours living creatures. You are parched and dry, burnt with mind and matter. Without me you are as withered as a dead plant, as a lightning-struck tree. But in the holy union with Grania I produce all planets born from her fiery energy of suns, and my dark waters from the deeps. Feel our union with reborn life. Suddenly I'm back under the dolmen, and the flood is gone. My whole body is filled with a flow of silvery and violet power, in harmony with the golden sun flow of Grania. I enter a state of ecstasy. Slowly, regretfully, Elaine returns from trance. Her whole face is transformed. She hardly hears that she's gained her alchemical degree, for she has found the inner sun in her heart and a silver star on her brow.